The aim of the Touch and Rice podcast is to spread fun in the touch football community. We talk a little bit of touch footy chat, but mostly play games and throw some banter. Hosts Cess and Kimmy would like to pay respects to the traditional owners of the land on which we meet.
My name is Geordie Skiing, and I would like to acknowledge the traditional owners of the land on which we meet here today. Today we're meeting in Meanjin, and those traditional owners are the Yagara and Turrbal people. And I'd also like to pay my respects to their elders, past, present and emerging, and acknowledge my people, the Gubbi Gubbi people, and extend that acknowledgement to all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people listening in today.
Naboo, hi Kimmy.
All right.
Are you?
Right.
Are you all right? Hannah, Chrisp, all the way over from Scotland. Thank you very much for joining us online. Are you all right?
I am all right. How are you guys doing?
We talked about this before the intro, or officially pressing record, and the greetings that Kimmy uses every week. And it's a common Scottish way to greet people in Australia. We're just not used to it. We're genuinely wondering if you're asking us if we're all right.
Yeah, and I'm never looking for a response. I just need the same in return, all right?
And speaking of that, you have played some touch over here, so I'm going to jump straight into your brag sheet because Kimmy, you know Kimmy quite well, and she's given you a bit of a rundown on how the podcast works. So you're all over it. We'll jump straight into your brag sheet as part of the podcast. It's quite a long list, so I will race through it. 2013, 2014, 2015. So you've won home nations in 2013, 2014, won European Championships, mixed opens played in the World Cup, 2015, 2016, Women's Open fourth in European Championships, 2018, Women's Open captain to bronze at the European Championships, 2019 Women's Open captained at the World Cup. 2019 you played New South Wales State Cup Div 2 for the Rabbits. 2020 played Women's Open NTLs for the Rebels. 2021 Women's Open captain Scotland in Autumn Nations Test matches versus Wales, Ireland and England. 2022 Women's Open captain silver at European Championships. 2022 also Women's Open won silver with Parramatta in Div 1 at the New South Wales State Cup, which is just finished this year. So that is, of course, 2024. And 2023 Women's Open NTLs with Mets, and you're both wearing Mets shirts today. Thank you for that memo. And 2024 Women's 27s you played at the World Cup over in Nottingham. So quite a brag sheet there.
Just makes me feel really old. You realise how long I've been playing touch for.
You could have. I could have cut it down if you want me to, but
I should have just told you the last 2 or 3 years, and then it would have made me feel better.
No, it's quite a brag sheet. We will obviously probably talk about that a little bit more in the next segment, which is your set of 6 touch-related questions. Sometimes a few more questions will branch from that, but let's jump straight into your set of 6. Give us your touch origin story. You mentioned it might have been some years ago. You don't have to tell us how long, but what is your touch origin story? How did you get started in the game?
Completely by accident, to be honest. I used to do athletics. I was a sprinter my whole life growing up, and got quite badly injured whilst I was at university and just really struggled. Like, rehab in an individual sport is 100 times worse than rehab in a team sport. So I was coming back into trying to compete, and I basically was just lonely. So I tried to find a team sport. I'd done loads of other stuff kind of socially. I'd played netball and hockey, and my dad was a rugby referee, and that had always kind of been in my life. Rugby's big in Scotland. So started looking at other things we could do, and we had like a really good social sport program at uni, and one of the things they did was actually tag. I think you call it Oz tag, we just call it tag. But so I went down to that one semester, and I just loved it. It was like running around but in a team. That's exactly what I wanted. So ended up then, when I came home for summer from university, finding a team in Edinburgh that was a touch team, and that was it. I played, I think, 3 weeks in a social comp and loved it, and that was it. I've played ever since. So kind of by accident, but yeah, these things always happen for a reason, I guess.
So university to now, I won't pin you down and ask you your exact age, but you've crammed a lot into your shortish touch career. Before we get back onto the touch stuff, what was your athletics event?
So I was a sprinter. I did anything from 60 meters indoors to 400 meters relay outdoors. So anything short. I was never very good at the middle distance. You would never catch me going for a 5K run, none of that, but sprint stuff, speed, yeah, it was always that.
What's the pet event? What's the one that you would want to win?
I think it changed. It started probably being the 100 meters, I think, because that's the flashy one. That's the one everyone watches in the Olympics, the Usain Bolts. And then I think as I got older and kind of understood myself more, like the kind of sadistic enjoyment of a 400 meters really, really got to me. So yeah, I think it probably ended up being the 400.
Nice.
by the
Back to
end of it.
touch.
Yeah.
Painful. The 400 meters looks like the most painful race in athletics.
Honestly, horrific. It's
Yeah.
like who invented that? I think 800 actually is probably worse because it's like
No, true.
double sprint, but
Yeah.
awful.
Yeah, I feel like I'd agree with you there. I feel like the 400 was the worst. It's that odd distance where you have to push. And I guess the 800, you're definitely still sprinting, but I feel like you can pace it a little bit more.
Yeah.
Where the 400, it's all out from
Just
the
all
go.
goal.
Yeah, it's
Uh-huh.
just lactic acid the whole way.
Yeah.
Back to touch. Question number 2, NTLs versus the European Championships. Differences between those tournaments for those that haven't, which is probably most people, haven't been fortunate enough to play in both.
So for me, as a non-Aussie, the main difference is the playing style. So the games in Europe and the Southern Hemisphere are very different, or were at least back at least 5 years ago. I think it's come a long way now, but actually the kind of progression through the tournament is quite similar. The kind of, sometimes you get teams that are less experienced and less consistent, and then you get teams at the back end of the tournament where every single game is like one touchdown in it. So I think actually the tournaments are quite similar. The style of play is different, and our European Championships are like a week long, and they last it's relentless. It's like 12 games over 5 days, 6 days. So I think that's probably the main difference is, playing style and length of time, but actually the kind of feeling of the tournament is quite similar.
Okay, that makes sense. I didn't realize it went that long. That's incredible.
Yeah.
Question number 3 for you in your set of 6. You've played with a lot of good players. I'm assuming both over here and also in Europe. Who are some of the best players that you've played with, and why?
For me, I think the best players that I find the most impressive are the ones that are really young, and we don't have that over here. I think that is fundamentally the biggest difference between Australia, New Zealand, and Scotland, at least. The UK, I'll take England out of this slightly, but the UK and Europe is we don't have a young pathway. So playing with the likes of Bella Slattery, Holly Rafferty, these girls were like 18, 19 and performing at a level I'd never seen people that age compete at. And I think everyone young, I can't narrow that down, but the teams I played with were young, and I've never done that before, and it was just incredibly impressive.
Is that, to expand on that a little bit, do you see that changing in Scotland? Actually, that delves into nicely to my next question, question number 4, Scotland Touch. An overview of Scotland Touch, and I guess part 4B to that, is that changing? Are there younger players coming through?
So, as I said, I'll take England out of this because they have over the last probably 6 or 7 years created that same thing. They're in schools now, they're in universities, they've got a full university competition that is set up. It's a league, kind of league format that runs throughout the year. And they have very much now the same structures that Australia has. The rest of Europe does not have that. And there are people out there doing amazing things trying to do that. But what we struggle with in Scotland is currently we have a very aging population. And you see that very sadly after the European Championships 2022, where we won silver. I came back the next year. Went away, played in Australia for a season, came back, and Women's Open team had completely folded. And pretty much everybody had either moved up to 27s, moved sideways to mixed, or just given up completely. So we're left with this gulf of how do you restart a Women's Open when there's no pathway? There's nobody coming through. Recently, there's been a really good drive for the youth setup. So we have this guy, Eddie, here who runs youth academies, and he works with schools, and he does after school clubs, and that is building a really good kind of under 15s age group, but there's still a gap, and it's going to be another 10 years before that group of players comes through and bridges that gap. So Scottish touch as a body, as a nation, is struggling for this opens category. But our youth is starting to do very well. We went to the European Cup this year, and I think in another 5-10 years' time we'll be great. But we struggle to bridge that gap.
Yeah, that completely makes sense. Question number 5 for you. What's your favorite thing about touch?
Oh, the community, the places it's taken me, the experiences it's given me, the people I've met. It's like second to none. And the fact that you can be in a team. And when I played at NTLs, I think I was the oldest. I was 31 at the time when we played with Mets, and the youngest 17, 18. There are so few sports that is possible and that you can do that in. From all over the world. I've played with people in France, South Africa, and every time I travel, I go to that place and I try and find a local team. And the community lived with touch players when I moved over to Sydney who didn't know me but gave me a room in their house, and it was just the nicest thing. People really care about each other, and you don't get that in many sports that I've seen.
On that point, before we move to your last question, 5B, for people that don't know, and you and Kimmy know each other quite well, but how did that happen? What brought you over here? And then did you just find a club, find a team? And how did that whole playing in State Cup and NTLs come about?
Yeah. So the first time around, I had always, since playing at World Cup, I had always admired the way that the Australian setup is, because we don't have that here, the kind of scale and the volume and the ability to play regular touch all year round. And in winter, basically touch stops here. So I haven't played touch since World Cup, which is insane. And I really wanted to fill that gap with more touch and play with players who were going to challenge me, who were going to better me, who had a completely different style, learn something new, different skills. So I went, got in touch with a woman called Mel Knott, who actually used to play Melbourne and then up in Queensland. And she had coached us. Her husband is Scottish, and she had been living out here in 2016 for the European Champs, and she'd been involved in coaching us. And I got in touch with her and just said, I'm thinking about moving out to Australia for, at the time, it was going to be 2 years. COVID had other ideas, but it was going to be for 2 years. So I got in touch with Mel, and she said, yeah, I know Tony, and she lives in Sydney. Great connection. Tony and Vince, now both de Maria, but she put me in touch with them. And initially I was just going to come and stay with them for 3 weeks, get myself settled. They were going to put me in touch with people. And I ended up living with them the whole time I was here. I was over there, but they put me in touch with a lot of people. I knew Daniel Rushworth he had also come over to coach here. He's another Sydney born and bred touchy, and the touch community, the network is very small. And I think that you just got in touch with people I knew, and they couldn't have done enough to help me, not just find teams and put me in touch with the right people over there, but actually to give me a safe place just to move across to the other side of the world. And it was, I don't know, call it luck, call it serendipity, whatever you want. I landed on my feet at every turn, and I put that down to the people that were more than happy to put themselves out there and help me. I played in the Sydney Queen's Park summer comps, and got acquainted with a lot of the bunnies that way, and went through the player pool originally for State Cup the first time around. The second time around, I knew what I was doing, so came out and played in the local comps. That was how it met, and then it was good people being very, very helpful, putting themselves out there for me.
So it was through the community, which is a good point. Well, I mean, we've talked about the touch community before on most of our episodes, but it's actually a really good tip for anyone coming from, whether it's Europe or Asia or America. If you're coming to Australia, whether or not you're wanting to play touch, you could probably just reach out to someone in the touch community, and they'll put you in contact with someone. You'll have a bed to stay in, and some good connections and where to stay, and if you want to, where to play. So it's probably a really good point that we haven't brought up before. Yeah. Question number 6, last question for your set of 6 touch related questions. Touch goals for Hannah Chrisp. What are they?
I would like 100 caps. We didn't make the semi-finals at World Cup, so I missed out on my 75th. That was painful, but I would like 100 caps for Scotland. My original goal had been 100 Open caps, but when Women's Open folded, you kind of just have to move with it. So 100 caps would be great. I would like to come back out to Oz. I'm not good with winter. I don't like the cold. I would love to come back out to Oz, play some more touch out there. The Rabbitohs girls, the 27s girls, won this year again, and I'd love to come play with them. A lot of my friends are now in that team, and I think more touch in Oz, more in the sun. I miss the sun.
There's plenty of it over here at the moment. Our summer, it is scorching hot at the moment, and you'd be welcome back with open arms, I'm sure, by any of those touch clubs.
Anna, I can tell you missed out on a pretty good after party with those Bunnies girls from what I could see.
I'm still waiting for the lowdown.
Are there many, this may be a bit of a naive question, but maybe not knowing much about Scottish touch. Are there many players that have got 100 caps?
So we have, I think, 5 or 6 that do so far. And they were kind of touch originals. They're the people who were the drivers for setting up touch in Scotland. I can think of 3 off the top of my head, but I don't want to start saying and then miss people out. So I think I think it's probably less than 10, but in and around that 5 to 6 people who have played. And they've always been there. They've been in and around touch since I've started. So not many, in short.
It's a great goal, and we look forward to hearing you achieve it. That's it for your touch-related questions. You set of 6, well done. Now it's over to Kimmy to get to know you more on a personal level, which she does, but for all of our listeners, for Kimmy's Corner.
All right, so a bit of a backstory. I change up my questions. I try and change them up with every guest. You're actually going to laugh at the topic for this one. So would you rather session? But it's going to be PG rated, so don't worry.
Okay. The type I'm not used to.
Exactly. At Mets last year, one of the girls, Sian Filippo, better known as Cess, was a creator of some very interesting would you rathers, and it actually kept our group chat going for a little bit after, but that's for the later time.
It really spiraled into a very strange place.
Yes. Anyway,
made a cameo on our last episode as well.
All right, so this is all sports-related would you rathers. So
okay.
We'll just go through them just to sort of see where you land on these. The first one, would you rather be the star of a bad team or an average player on an elite team?
Average player on an elite team, which is what I feel like I was in NTLs.
Oh, definitely not. Definitely not. All right, next one. Would you rather win the MVP award or the team championship?
Team championship. And because I've never done it and it breaks me, I really, really want that team gold.
It'll come. It'll definitely come when you come back to Oz.
Yes.
Would you rather take responsibility for losing the championship or have a teammate take credit for the win when you deserved it?
The team win. 100% the team win. Even
That's
if it...
Yeah.
Definitely the team win.
Having a teammate take credit for it.
Yeah.
All right, next one. Would you rather ensure extra time or risk losing and win in regular time?
I love drop-off. I'm going with it. I'm taking the risk. I'm going to drop off.
We actually, I think I asked this question on a previous episode, and it was, would you rather be in the box or on the field?
On the field. We played France in the semi-final at Euros 2022, and that was probably the most exciting 4 minutes of touch I've ever played. And it wouldn't have been 4 minutes, but we played German drop-off, and I love it. The buzz, less people on the field, more space. Yeah.
For me, in my older age, I'd rather be in the box and support the box because I think I'd just be shitting myself. We actually, our quarterfinal, I think World Cup was against Wales and it went to a drop off. And
Yeah, I watched that game.
there was no way I was going on the field. I was so happy. I volunteer to stay off.
I will watch.
Definitely. I can like hype up the box. That's my job. Would you rather be an average player with a good reputation or an elite player with rumors of cheating?
The cheating thing I can't hack. I'd rather be an average player. I would hate that someone thought I was dishonest.
I don't know what type of person would actually answer on the other scale.
No.
Anyone would, even if you're not a cheater, just the rumor of it.
Especially in touch.
Yeah.
Especially in touch being such an honesty-based sport.
You might as well not play. Like if people think you're cheating, just don't turn up.
All right, this one's a fun one. Would you rather have really cool uniforms with a rundown stadium or like training facility, or a state-of-the-art training facility with ugly uniforms?
I hate ugly uniforms. I hate them. I would. Oh no! How rundown are we talking? Is the actual field playable?
Yeah, like how bad you're talking change rooms from like back in the 90s, shared shower facilities, a broken bubbler, no line marking, patchy holes.
I feel like you need to come and play touch in Scotland, and that is like every single one of our touch fields. But we look great, so it doesn't matter.
I reckon it's like trending to wear just ugly shit at the moment. I feel like if you're looking good on the field, like with the way that you're playing, then you can make that ugly uniform work.
I don't disagree with that.
It depends how ugly it is. You're right.
Yeah.
So I've seen some ugly uniforms. Anyway, interesting. What would you go, Cess? Ugly uniforms or really cool?
Ugly uniforms. But I will say that there are definitely some ugly uniforms getting around. If you look at some of the Super 8s or the Super 4s or the fast, the condensed competitions that they've got going on at the moment, and they theme it on different, sports or whatever, it might be NBA or NFL or whatever. Yeah. There's some ugly uniforms getting around.
There can be something quite ironic about really ugly uniforms, which actually then makes them look good.
Kind of cool. Yeah, exactly. Anyway, all right. Next one, would you rather get paid a lot to be on a bad team or paid below average to be on an elite team?
The elite team. Yeah, I'll get paid below average. I pay to play touch, so in either case, I'm winning.
It's unfortunately still the case here. So yeah, if let's just say it was a professional career.
Ooh, professional career. Ooh, okay. Now I don't know, because if it's my professional career, I want a nice life. So maybe I'd get more. How bad are we going to get relegated?
Possibly.
Is that how bad we are? Okay, I'm going to go with
bottom of the table or like top of the table. Bottom of the table, a lot of money. Top of the table, peanuts.
Let's go for glory. I'm going top of the table.
Yeah, I feel like mental health. Like if you're not happy turning up to do your job, there's no amount of money that's gonna
break you.
Make that better.
You might have a really nice team environment, even if you're crap.
That's right. 100%. I'm vibing like, the movie The Replacements, where they had all this money and they weren't doing very well.
Movies not my strong point.
Excellent. We'll move on. Would you rather have a long, average playing career or have a short, fantastic career but cut short by injury?
Long. I want to play as long as possible.
Average.
Yeah, long and average.
I feel like all three of us can answer this question. Once you get old and those injuries start to niggle, it's just annoying, isn't it?
It's really annoying when your body gives up before you want to.
I don't know if yes, now definitely saying that. But if you're saying to me, you're in your 20s, you've got 5 or 6 years where you win everything, but you don't have to quit the sport. You can still coach, manage, whatever. I'm probably taking the shorter, fantastic career.
Yeah, if you'd asked me 10 years ago, I would have 100% have said short, fantastic.
Yeah.
But I don't want to stop playing now. Yeah. I don't want to stop playing.
That's fair.
All right. Would you rather stay on a below average team or join your rival team and win the title?
Ooh. We had this funny question. So when England got made a tier 1 nation, there was a lot of chatter around people moving nations in order to join another country just to win the title. I can't the thought of that, no offense to England, but the thought of that just doesn't sit right with me. My dad's English, so in theory could have done that, but like my team are my team.
Yeah,
I want to make my team win.
It is an interesting one, and I know we always say don't cut corners, but I guess if you're trying to, maybe if you're a younger player and you're trying to advance your career, sometimes getting stuck in a below average team is going to pull you back, and you do have to potentially join your rival team. But loyalty, I feel like most people are very loyal to their clubs and to their community. I spoke about it before, but community is such a big part of touch football, so it's hard. I've seen a lot of people struggle with that decision to jump.
It's a really tough one.
We've got a couple more to go. I've saved the best for last, but until we get to that one more. What would you rather pass or score the winning try?
I'm a scooper, so I'll pass. I will pass that every day.
What about you, Cess?
I think we've had this question before, and I'd probably want the touchdown for the highlight reel.
Yeah.
Well, think about that pass. If you've got a cracking left to right, that pass is going on the highlights reel too.
It is, yeah. I still want to put it down, and your name's going on the score sheet. So when they look back on the records, they're not looking at going, "Oh, Hannah Chrisp threw this amazing left to right." They're just going, "Oh, Cess."
There's no pictures on the scorecard.
That's it.
Have you also noticed that there isn't really an award for best try assist? It's always best try.
Best try.
So
yeah.
Maybe scoring the touchdown to win. All right, last question. Would you rather sweat an embarrassing amount or need to hydrate every 5 minutes?
I do sweat an embarrassing amount. And I'm like a camel. I drink like twice a day. Even in boiling heat, I'll drink a pint in the morning and a pint at lunch, and that's it, of water. But it's
every 5 minutes you need to drink water?
Yeah, no, I can't be hacking that. I'll sweat all day.
I feel like I would rather drink every 5 minutes.
Like, imagine how, like, if you're just in the middle of doing something and you've just got to stop to drink all the time.
Yeah, but if you've got the right water bottle and it's just got the little like sippy cup thing and you just got a little sip, put it down, ice cold water. It's just the profuse sweating. Kind of when you move to Australia, go to Queensland for summer, and you'll understand what I mean about just sitting in like.
Yeah. I mean, Malaysia, World Cup in Malaysia was like that.
So Malaysia on repeat.
Yeah, you'd look, I mean, if it was me, you'd look like an absolute idiot, but I'd probably just constantly have on a Camelback with the straw there where you could just go, 5 minutes, need to hydrate, and then off you go.
Just one that fits in your pocket all the time.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Sweating profusely, gross. That would be so gross.
Yeah, it's the chafing as well.
If we're talking Malaysia levels, yeah. Okay, I'm drinking water.
Okay, we've convinced you.
That is the end of my Would You Rather questions. We definitely kept those PG.
Well done. I was going to say, well done, Kimmy, on keeping those PG. Well done, Hannah, getting through those. Kimmy's Corner, done and dusted. Now we're on to the fun part of the podcast, the games. And Kimmy is up at the moment 12-9 because Scotty Mack, in our last episode, I believe it was a tied game, and then he absolutely choked in the trivia, and Kimmy came over the top. So 12-9 in the lead. Kimmy is up. So for those new listeners, or if you haven't listened to the podcast before, so Kimmy and I are in direct competition with each other. We play a couple of games with our guests every podcast, and the loser at the end of this first season, whenever that might be, has to jump out of a plane and skydive. So I am needing this win today.
I'd be losing intentionally.
Yeah, well, no, I just don't want to do it.
Skydive.
Well, we're both competitive, and
we
both don't want to jump out of a plane, so it's a double whammy here. Over to Kimmy. So we gave you a choice, Hannah. I'll throw it over to Kimmy here because she's in control for the next couple of games.
So the choice was, I asked firstly if you like tomato or barbecue sauce, and what was your answer?
Barbecue sauce is this like so sweet. I cannot hack it. I'm a ketchup girl.
It was a great answer because we are both also ketchup tomato sauce people. So that didn't separate us. But the next one was, where do you put your sauce, fridge or pantry? Now, I actually laughed at your answer. And you basically said growing up, it was pantry. And then once you started living with other people, they would be the fridge. So then you were either fridge or pantry, and you'd often lose your sauce because you had no idea what you got.
I can never remember.
What's your preferred location? And you answered fridge.
Because I actually went to check when you asked me that. I said it's wherever it is right now. So it was in the fridge.
So Cess also puts his in the fridge, which means you are playing against him and you are playing on behalf of me.
Oh, the pressure. Okay. We've even got team kit on. I like it.
Yeah, I know.
Well,
this is such a setup. I'm secretly hoping, with your comment before about movies, I'm secretly hoping one of the games is movie based.
Yeah.
Is it? Damn it.
Thank the Lord. I stitched myself up, I think was one of our early episodes, and it was singing and lyrics, and it was with Micah from Switzerland, and he didn't know any of the songs or lyrics that I was and he was playing on behalf of me, and I stitched myself up. So I've definitely...
That would be a good round for me.
All right, so the first game we're going to play, we're going to go in between back and forth in between the two of you. I think this will work. Yeah, it will. So it's multiples of 3. I don't know if you guys have seen this trending on socials at the moment, but it's for every multiple of 3, or if the number 3 is in the number, you have to say instead of the number.
Okay. I thought we were keeping this PG. Anyway, okay.
Well, it's just You can say
okay. Just the way you said it.
I was so conscious of the way that I was saying it, and it came out wrong. I'm so sorry, but it's
Play along at home, as we always say to our listeners with all of our games, and you can be as explicit as you like because no one will hear you.
So basically, we're just going to go from 1 all the way through until somebody stuffs up, and whoever stuffs up loses. That's the game.
Okay.
All right. So should we go
clear my throat? Make sure I'm ready.
Yeah, we'll go with ladies first. So Hannah, I've actually had to write all of these down just to make sure that I don't stuff up either. So when you're ready.
1,
2, 4,
5, 7,
8, 9.
Oh
my God. You know what I was doing? I was already thinking what was next after 9. I was like, okay, I'm not going to say it on 12. Idiot. Oh my God.
I literally even wrote, I don't think this is going to show, no, but I wrote the numbers all the way up to 60. For some reason I thought.
No way. It was never, I was already getting to the 20s, trying to think ahead, going, what are my multiples here? And I just, as soon as I blurted out 9, I was like, oh, well, hang on. We've jumped from 6 to 9. Oh.
Well, the tip is maybe you should have gone a little bit more saucy on the R's to throw it off.
Yes, that's a good point.
I went with pure pace to put you under pressure. That was my tactic.
You did well. You did well.
All right, that's game number 1. Game number 2.
That was too quick. That was I don't want to go down too fast, but I finished way too quick there. Not normally the case, I promise you. Game number 2. Let's go. Move on. Quick.
All right, game number 2. This is a bit of Family Feud trivia. Okay, so I'm going to ask you, does everyone know the game Family Feud?
Yes.
So I'm going to ask you a question.
Fortunes?
It's I don't know if that's what it's called over in Scotland, but it's... We'll see. So basically I'll say name something, and then a question of something that you have to name, and then you basically just say whatever comes to your mind first. So you can just, should we do it so that you've got to buzz your name and then you can give the first answer?
Yeah, because is it the like the highest surveyed response or whatever? Yeah.
So there's like a survey of 100 people, and then
Family
there
Fortunes
might be 4, 5, 6 top answers, and whoever gets like the highest ranked answer. So you might both put the bottom 2, but whoever's highest. And if you if you give an answer that's not on my list, we'll go again.
Okay.
Gotcha. So what buzzers are we coming up with?
Oh, we have to keep the R's, surely.
Yeah. All right. So Cess, how are you going to say your R?
Just a short R.
Anna, what's yours?
Okay.
All right. Here we go. Question number 1. Name something a funeral director would hate to discover about the body they're about to bury. Hannah.
It's heavy.
Okay, heavy. Cess.
Funeral director. Say it again, so the funeral director would hate to find out about the body
The
they're
body
about
they're
to
about
bury.
to bury.
It's a friend or relation.
Neither one of you have got one of the top 5
Zeros?
answers.
Oh, man.
So we'll go around again. Hannah, another answer.
This is dark. It's alive?
I was thinking that too.
Cess, what's
Because-
yours?
This is even darker, that it was a horrible victim of, a murder case or something like that.
Okay, Hannah got the top answer with it's alive.
It's alive.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, well done.
All
What were
right.
the other ones out of interest?
So second one, it's the wrong person. Third
Oh,
one
God.
is it reeks or it smells. Fourth, it's missing. And the last one, it has something contagious.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
All valid. Yeah.
Well, yeah, very valid.
All right, next question. If you live to be 100, what do you think you'll be doing on Saturday night,
Ah,
Seth?
my initial reaction was going to be knitting, but I'm not going to be knitting. I would just say watching TV, a
Hannah?
movie, TV, something.
If I had 100,
What are you doing on Saturday night at 100 years old?
babysitting great grandkids.
All right, so yeah, the answers are quite funny. Cess, you got the second top answer with watching TV. The top answer was sleeping. And then down the list,
Yeah, of
I don't know
course.
who they're asking, but having sex,
100.
mate.
Okay.
Surely not.
By the
you
time
hide
you reach
that?
100, there's some pretty good, I don't know, uppers around or something. Then dancing, drinking, eating, and gambling. Yes.
Okay.
All right,
Interesting.
so the score is 1-1. Question number 3. Name something that might be 1 day old.
Ah,
A
That was Hannah.
baby?
Baby, yep, Cess.
that's yeah, exactly what I was going to say. 1 day old. Oh, it has to be baby. Hannah's got the top answer. Does Hannah have the top answer?
There's
'Cause then-
3 other, no, well, there's one answer that's one up. Hannah has got
What
the
is 1 day old? Something brand new. It's not a baby.
3,
I'm absolutely stumped.
2, 1.
No,
Guess
it
anything.
has to be a baby.
Okay, well, Hannah gets that one because you didn't guess. The top answer was food.
Oh.
A resounding top answer was food.
Oh, like
Really?
1 day
leftovers.
old. Yeah. And then we had animal and then news.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, next question. Name something a wife turns on just to annoy her husband.
Ah, this is really sexist. I apologize in advance. The dishwasher.
To annoy.
Please
To
don't come at
annoy.
me. I'm sorry.
Something a wife turns on just to annoy her husband. Hannah.
Oh, the Hoover. That's another sexist
Ah,
one, but I'm going with
that's-
it because it's
that's-
noisy.
Yeah,
So the
that's a
top
good one.
answer was TV. The second top answer was radio. And then the third answer was vacuum. Hoover.
Yeah, vacuum. That's a better answer. Well done.
And then the last one was the lights. Question number 5. Name something that thrill seekers love to ride on.
Motorbike.
Oh, Cess actually got in first.
Oh, no.
That's okay. I wasn't going to say motorbike. I will say ride on roller coaster.
Roller coaster is the top answer. Motorbike is the second answer.
Oh, nice.
Score check. Hannah 3, Cess 2.
Come on.
All right, question number 6. Name something people try to squeeze into.
Ah,
Hannah?
A wetsuit?
Okay.
yeah. I was just going to say clothes.
The top answer is clothes.
Yes.
Oh,
Tight clothes or shoes. And wetsuit wasn't even, but it was a resounding 84 points for
Ooh.
that top one. So we are now evens, 3-3. All right. Next question. Name something you shouldn't be holding whilst you're driving.
Ah,
Cess.
phone. Has to be phone.
yeah.
That is the top answer.
Yeah.
So skip you that one. The next answer is just FYI, food or drink, alcoholic beverage, a crying baby, a cigarette, and a murder weapon. I don't know where the survey was taken from, but must be America. Anyway, question number 8. Name a musical instrument people strum.
Ah,
Cess.
guitar.
Correct. Score is 5-3. All right, I've got a few more here. Name a profession that involves getting wet. Cess.
Scuba diver.
That is the top answer. So diver swimmer. You're on a roll here.
On fire. Let's go.
It is. All right, I've got 5 left. The score is 6-3. So Hannah, you still can win it. Got to buzz in quickly, all right? Number 10, name a place that always has a long bathroom line. Cess.
A festival or concert.
Okay, there is one answer that's above that.
I don't know if this is too generic, but the ladies' bathroom.
The ladies' bathroom is on there, but it was below concert. So the top answer was a sports venue.
Sports
then,
is my other.
Yeah, and then concert, bar, movie, theme park, restaurant, and then ladies' room. All right, question number 11.
There's a time delay, I reckon. This is a stitch up.
Did get like almost, I think, the first 3, you were in there quickly. All right. I think, Cess, if you get this one, it's done and dusted. Let me see what I can put on here. All right. What is a popular pizza topping?
Cheese.
Cess. Ooh, Hannah.
Oh, how's that not the top? What is wrong with people?
What did you say? Pepperoni. Pepperoni
Surely.
is answer number 1.
No. These idiots with this survey. What else is that? Please tell me pineapple. Was pineapple on there?
No, unfortunately not.
No.
Weird.
Well, it wouldn't be top 5, but it should be on
No,
there
it
somewhere.
was pepperoni, mushroom, sausage, green peppers, capsicum.
So cheeseless pizza.
Yep.
Cheese is like part of the base.
It's a topping. It's a topping.
Oh.
Okay.
What pizza do you have without cheese? Unless you're lactose.
Yeah. I did have a friend that
Great.
was lactose. He just had cheeseless pizza. It's disgusting.
Yeah, no, that's a hard no. All right, there's 4 left. Cess, you need 1 more to win. Otherwise, we're going all the way to the end. Next question. What is a common fear that many people have? Ooh, hold on.
Go, Hannah. You can have this.
Okay,
Spiders.
Oh, yeah, that's fair.
Cess, you got something else?
I was going supernatural. I was just going to say ghosts.
Okay, the top answer was heights.
I thought
yeah.
that.
The second
Fair.
answer was spiders.
Yes. Okay.
Man,
Still
what
in.
the hell?
Still in.
Still
Was
in it.
ghosts on there? Or
No,
anything
it
supernatural?
was heights, spiders, public
Sharks?
speaking, flying.
Oh, public speaking, of
Oh.
course.
Yeah, public
Yeah.
speaking. A lot of people have a fear of that.
Yeah, that's true.
All right, here we go. Name a household chore that nobody likes to do. Cess.
I hate ironing.
Hannah.
For the win? No.
Cleaning.
Yes.
Is that the top?
answer. Yep. And washing
Sorry.
the dishes, vacuuming, doing laundry.
So generic. I went so specific to me. That was the problem. Fair enough.
All right. Here we
Where
go.
are we at? Is this a tiebreaker?
No, it's 6. So there's 2 questions left. So Cess, you still need 1 more to win.
okay.
It's the next 2.
This could be a Scotty McAllister repeat here.
It could be. It could be. All right. Name something people do when they are bored. Hannah.
Scroll. Doom scroll. Twitter, Instagram.
Okay.
Play on their phone.
Was that not the top?
Cess?
That was not the top. Okay.
Oh no.
When they're bored,
3 seconds.
just play on their phone. Super generic. No.
No. Back to Hannah.
Oh, so that none of those are on the list. Right.
Oh. Watch TV.
That is the top answer.
Oh man.
Yes.
How is doom scrolling not the top? Like that 100% is the top.
Maybe
Anyway,
that doesn't. If you're doing that, then you're not bored.
Yeah,
That's
true.
maybe
Well,
like-
it's watch TV, play video games, read a book, or take a nap for the answers.
Mm.
I just got a little bit nervous. Okay. I'm going to try and read this question really, really clearly. What is a common item people forget to take with them when leaving the house? Yes.
You have your keys. It has to be wallet.
Hannah.
I may have just given Hannah the answer.
And now I've. Oh God. Phone.
If this is it
If
phone?
this is keys, I'll cry.
So the top answer is keys.
Oh, God damn it.
The bottom answer was sunglasses, and phone and wallet were in the middle. So the second answer was phone and the third answer was wallet. Hannah wins. Yes. I knew you had it when you said keys.
No, because
Oh, no.
this is how I've stuffed up here because I've just made all of this specific to me. Always grab the keys first, and then if I forget something, it's wallet or phone or something else.
To be honest, when I first moved into this flat unit apartment, I on a Saturday, the laundry is a shared laundry outside, and I opened up my door, had my phone thankfully in my pocket, left my dog in the unit, put my laundry on, and then came back and I'd forgotten to leave the handle unlocked. And then I was like, oh, my keys are inside, and there's nowhere else to get in. So luckily I had my phone to call a locksmith, but now I have a cut key hidden somewhere.
I just refuse because
I've actually looked out with my keys like that often.
Yeah, keys are always first because if you forget anything else, you're back inside with the key. And even better to that, in my last house, I can't do it now because it's a shared complex, so same locks, whatever. Not same locks, but you know what I mean. You can't make adjustments. But we had the keyless entry where it was a pin code or your thumb finger. That's the best invention ever. Love it.
I agree.
Tony and Vince had that in Sydney. That's not a thing that you get here
Really?
at all.
It's the best.
The fingerprint keyless one.
Yeah, they had a pin code.
Yeah.
Like we have them on the main building door, but once you're inside, nobody has them on like their personal door.
Do you know what they've actually done now? We're going well off topic here, but now that we've gone in this rabbit hole of keys, that they've now gone to the fingerprint one because they found that if your keypad is used, you don't change the pin code, someone can see which numbers are pressed.
Yeah.
So
there's something, I don't know the exact thing, but there's this is way too far down the rabbit hole, so we'll stop after this. But some of the pins codes now, when you put your thumbnail on it, it'll mix up the numbers and then put them in a different order sort of thing. Yeah, so it won't always be the same. Anyway,
yeah, that makes sense.
End of the games. Well done, Hannah. You've smashed it out of the park. I have choked. I apologize for calling out Scotty McAllister there because I have two chokes after holding a very, very good lead. 14-9. Kimmy is ahead, so I have some making up to do in 2025.
Yes, you do. Thank you, Hannah.
Well done,
I knew
Hannah.
these shirts were a good idea. I could feel it.
Yeah, I feel a stitch up was had there. Anyway, next part of the podcast, Hannah, you can take a break for a short moment. Our shout out. We've had some really good interactions on our posts, and so just a reminder to everyone to follow us on all of the socials and comment for a shout out with our next podcast. But I did receive an email, and Kimmy, I don't know if you've seen this, but I have to read this one out. It could be an absolute scam. I don't know because I didn't click the link, but just got this random email. Hello, how's it going? This is from Carlos at Pod Status. He says, I have some cool information that might interest you. Your podcast, Touch and Rice, has good performance in Apple Podcast rankings in the last 30 days. Position is in the top 100 category sports in Ireland. So apparently we're doing really well in Ireland.
Interesting.
Yeah. Shout out to all of our Irish listeners. Thank you for supporting us and getting us into the top 100. I don't know if there's
a scam.
Yeah. Well, I haven't clicked on it. So yeah, be very careful out there with these scams. But just a reminder, follow us on socials and comment on any of posts that Kimmy's putting out there, and let us know how you think Hannah went in the games. Obviously, smash it out of the park and get involved and follow us on everything. We're on what are we on? Kimmy, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, all of those.
Yes, correct.
And also, before I forget, we would love a rating review on your preferred podcast platform. So jump on there, give us 5 stars, ideally, and that really helps us show up on podcasts in Ireland, apparently. Previous guest question. So we have mentioned him a couple of times in this podcast, Scotty McAllister. This is for all of us. Hannah, you're back in now. He asked, if you won $50 million in lotto, what's the first thing you would purchase? Now, I'm going to take off the table house, car, generic. What's the first thing you would purchase?
50 million.
Yeah. While you're having a think, because obviously I saw this first, so I've had a bit of time to think of it. So cascading down, obvious things are house, car, invest, travel. That's going to happen with most people, I feel. For me, I'm probably going gag for the first purchase. And because it's come from Scotty McAllister, I'm buying a year's supply of tomato sauce and I'm sending it to his address. So he has to he has to store it and look at it every time he eats a pie. Hopefully he has to use a little bit of it so it doesn't go out of date, and he has to throw it all out. That's my first purchase, Scotty. Straight to you. Not the wisest use of a portion of the $50 million, but that's what I'm doing, and I'm sticking to it.
I don't think that's even going to make a dent in your 50 mil.
No, not at all. And he did say first purchase. It wasn't a significant purchase. So there we go. I might even make it 2 years, 3 years.
I'd probably, I can't remember the last time I properly updated my wardrobe. I've been trying to like keep a minimalist wardrobe, but I'd probably just buy a brand new wardrobe, to be honest. I feel like clothing back in the day, I used to just like buy so much stuff, and I see my sister still do it, and she has like all these clothes with tags in a wardrobe, and I look at that and I'm like, it's just such a waste of time sitting there. I feel like every female knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So I consciously tried to avoid doing that, and I think I've done a pretty good job. Most of my clothes are touch clothes.
Mm-hmm.
That's really sad. So yes,
Wardrobe full of kit.
I would revamp my wardrobe.
I think I would buy. I don't know why. I honestly don't know why my brain went here, but I went sports team. I don't know why. I don't know why. I really don't know why. Yeah, a sports team. Like I don't. Is that enough money to buy a sports team? I want to buy like a women's Premiership rugby team. My brain went, and I don't know why, immediately to sports team.
You buying a sports team?
Yeah, and I don't know if that's enough money to buy a sports team. Probably not. I'll buy a share of a sports team.
Okay. What sport? What team?
I will invest in women's sport, football, soccer, rugby, something like that.
Mhm.
That's cool. That's a
That
great
is cool. That's a much better and much more reasonable and sensible than
that's better than
tomato sauce in a wardrobe. Yeah. Well done, Hannah. You've
I was
shown us up
actually,
again.
as soon as I submitted my answer, I was like, you know what? I'd actually probably just go high tech. I'd upgrade all high tech stuff first. So like your smart TV, cameras, videos. You can kind of tell that my setup right now, I don't even have a ring light. I've lost my microphone and my headset, but I think I'd go like high tech.
Keyless entry, eye scanners, all that kind of stuff. Yeah. Like it.
Or
like
I'd
it.
buy like one of those scooter, like an electric scooter.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Yeah. But great answer. The sports team thing. I didn't, as soon as I saw the question, I did not go sensible at all. So well done. That's great.
I wonder how much a sports team would cost these days.
I have no idea.
Me either. Anyway, we can look that
I
up.
know what I'm Googling for the rest of the day, though.
Yeah. Next question is normally our food related question, but I thought I'd mix it up because what's the other thing apart from food that brings people together is music. So I have a music related question for you, Hannah, just to mix things up for our guests. What is your hype song pre-final?
Oh, so I absolutely love Cher. That's like it's just one of the songs, all of the songs that you can just belt out. And I'm going to go with Walking in Memphis, the Cher version.
Yeah, I like it. Yeah, and I feel like everyone would get behind you too as well with that song, belting it out. Kimmy, what do you got?
Believe, that's also a cracker. That's
Believe
a
would
good
work.
song.
Yeah.
Right now I'm vibing Delirious. I've actually been vibing it since like State Cup last year. And yeah, it was like with the West Girls. I think Cess actually had it on the playlist, and I'm like, what is this song? And since then, I don't have Spotify Wrapped. I have Apple Music Wrapped, and it was my top played song.
Ooh,
so
nice one.
That one gets me going.
My selection is Fort Minor, Remember the Name, which is a little bit cliche, but it's just
good song.
Gets you in the zone, whether you're at the gym but definitely pre-touch footy final or tournament. That's a song that gets me going. Last question for the podcast for you, Hannah. Fave dish. So we talk about touch with a side of fun. What is your fave dish to have with a side of rice?
The one thing my go-to if I'm cooking rice, the dish that I would make would be like a Goan prawn curry. Nice. I love cooking. Like I love cooking, and that is one of the things I love. Like if people are coming round, I've got like a short list of things, but if it's rice, prawn Goan curry.
We haven't had that. That's a
Do you want to
great
hear a
answer.
fun fact?
Yeah.
That's what I had for dinner tonight.
Is it?
I am
We're just so in
actually-
sync. We are
Yeah,
so
you-
in sync, Kimmy.
I'm on to you too. You're just acting all surprised and happen to be wearing the same shirts, talking about the same food. This is a
I'm
massive
actually
stitch
not
up.
pulling your leg. I think I've still got the packaging if you need me to prove it. Hold on. 1 second.
Very good, very good.
Because I made it last night. Holy moly.
That's ridiculous.
That's crazy.
Crazy.
Well, there you go.
Hannah, thank you very much for joining us on the podcast. All of your answers were fantastic, entertaining. I'm sure everyone will love to listen to this episode. For any listeners at home, make sure you do share it with the touch community that we've spoken about so fondly about today. And Hannah, if you ever are heading back over here, you've definitely got a place to stay with either Kimmy or myself, but anyone in the touch community, I'm sure after listening to this, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
And for our listeners at home, we look forward to catching you in 2025. Thank you for joining us for this year. And we hope you enjoyed it. We're going to take a short break. Hannah, and also to all of our listeners, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. Hope you have a safe and wonderful time with family and friends. And until 2025, we'll see you on the 7th.
Oh, cannot wait.
Thank you for listening to the Touch and Rice podcast. Please join us on all our socials, including Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube at Touch and Rice Podcast.